死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなにガチンが多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ万歳。ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランドトライドまで。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界傷ついていけるかな。昔グレートだった大きにまたグレートになるかも。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そう見張らせるで。
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Happy Friday, everybody. We have a lot to talk about, as always, in the world of Donald Trump, because every day is Christmas Day in the Trump administration. But yeah, so I love that intro, dude. I think that is freaking great. I need to see a full-length feature film of MAGA in the anime style. That would be absolutely fantastic. No Mario hoodie, no peace. Rocking the Mario hoodie. All right. I even got my camo hat on today. So I'm almost there. I'm almost full stereotype. Because they usually like the angry white guy that votes for Trump, that doesn't, that calls out wokeness in everything that he sees, sitting in his car bitching about these things. That I'm literally the stereotype right now. I just need to put my sunglasses on and I am the stereotype. So yeah. That's how it is, though. Fuck it. Where's my son? All right, here. We'll do the full stereotype. Now, full stereotype is in effect. I am the angry MAGA supporter with my Mario hoodie and my camo hat, sunglasses, bitching about wokeness, calling out the Democrats. Let's freaking go. All right? So there we are. I am the full-on stereotype now. So there you go, peeps. There you go. Eric K says, Jeremy wears Crocs with socks. Not really, but I will. I think wearing Crocs with socks is kind of really cringe. But hey, pack your protons from ABC News, so take it with a grain of salt. Well, we already know what's a problem there. But supposedly the White House says that Trump is considering suspending. How do you say that? Habeas corpus. I haven't even heard anything about that story. But I mean, ABC News is, that's probably legit. Keenan says, when will Krista be on CobraCast again? $500 super chat. I'll have Krista appear right then and there. Okay. All right. $500 super chat. I'll have her appear. That's a joke. Don't do it. I don't know where she's at. I don't know what she's doing. But there you go. Cosmic Thunder says, good evening. Jose Taco says, did you get your Switch 2 invite to buy on the Nintendo store today? I messed up and did not add the GameCube controller. Only one transaction per invite. I already have multiple Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders, so I really don't, I may have gotten the invite. If I did, I haven't looked it up, but I think I'm pretty good, I hope. But as long as my order doesn't get canceled. So Andy Plays Game says, Duck Dynasty Cobra. Let's freaking go. I had to change up my hat because I had to get a hat that has a little more... I guess because I don't like a hat that poofs up top usually, but my hair is getting so long that it's getting annoying to wear a fucking hat, to be honest. I really want to cut my hair, but I'm not going to do it. Not yet anyway, but I really want to cut it. Whenever my hair becomes anything other than something I don't like, when I have to worry about it, it's a problem. I don't like maintenance on my hair. That's really gay. Let's see. Packy Proton says, since you are wearing sunglasses at night, what's your Blues Brothers name? You know what? I'll let the chat come up with that one. What do you guys think? Blues Brothers name for me with my sunglasses indoors. Although I'll wear sunglasses indoors quite often, actually. But hey, listen, we have an update from the White House press secretary. I'm sure a lot of you will enjoy this video because why wouldn't you enjoy this video? I mean, I'm enjoying it already. So let's hear from Caroline Levitt.
Hey everybody, happy Friday, and it's time for the MAGA Minute here in the beautiful Rose Garden, thanks to our beautiful First Lady. Let's get to it. On Monday, President Trump announced the 2027 NFL Draft will be held right here in Washington, D.C. The president hosted Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney at the White House. He met with freed Russian-American ballerina Karolina. President Trump and the First Lady hosted an event honoring military mothers. President Trump struck a historic trade deal with the United Kingdom, unlocking $5 billion worth of export opportunities and $6 billion in additional external revenue. Major companies like Gilead, Invenergy, Merck, Lego, Hotpack, Bristol-Myers Squibb, and many other companies committed billions of dollars in investments in the United States. The president announced plans to reopen the famous Alcatraz prison to house the most ruthless and violent criminals
in
our country. The administration launched a program to incentivize self-deportation for illegal aliens. The administration reached a ceasefire with the Houthis in Yemen. The administration also announced that all experiments on beagles on NIH campuses have been terminated. The House of Representatives took steps to pass a bill to codify President Trump's Gulf of America executive order. The president will be heading to Saudi Arabia next week to help strengthen ties with Middle Eastern countries. That's it for this week. Next week, we will be coming to you live from the Middle East. And lastly, happy Mother's Day to all of the amazing mothers out there across our country.
So, you know, I'm sure you guys, look, I mean, we already know you guys would just rather this right here. So there you go. So I'm just going to talk right here while you guys are you know, enjoying the scenery. But I think that's the best way to run this show because, I mean, of course it is. But no, that's cool, man. You know, and the transparency of this administration is really awesome. We didn't have this before. Trump is doing such a good job. His team's doing such a good job from that perspective. There are criticisms, and we're going to get into those criticisms here in just a bit. But, you know, I like the transparency in the updates. Brad Mann for a new member and also says, who's the gay guy in sunglasses? We want the chair. Jeremy in the house. Midnight Light says, let's get to 500 likes. Let's hit that like button, baby. Okay, so let's see. No one in the chat is old enough for her. What does that mean? What does that mean? Are you saying that only, like, I could show you right now the demographics on this channel. We have almost no one under 18 on watching this channel. All of our demographics skew between 25 and 65 for the most part. Shockingly enough, my audience actually has jobs, and that's how they can send super chats. So, you know, but yeah, we have our demographics on Geeks and Gamers, and this channel even skews a little older than Geeks and Gamers, but our demographics are definitely like 25 to 65, somewhere in there. So, let's see. Hang on. Let me look at the actual demographics really quick, just so I can be accurate about that. Let's see. All right, let's go into analytics, audience. Okay, so we have an 89% male audience, 9.9, we'll just call it 10% female audience. We have a between 18 and 24 years old is 0.46%. Well, here, I'll just share this. Here's the demographics right here. Here's the demographics. So you see it right there. 18 to 24, 4.6%, 25 to 34, 21%, 35 to 44, 30%, 45 to 54, 25%, 55 to 64, 11%, 65 years plus a 6%. So there you go. There you go. So our audience definitely skews older. And then look at that. 90% male audience, 10% female audience. So there you go right there. No Fortnite audience here. Vault 95 says, when are you going to put on face, pubes, and a beard and a beanie? That's not happening. I actually shaved. Not all the way, but I've, pretty. Listen, I got it. The hair is driving me crazy. We'll see how. I don't know how much longer. Chat says, Jeremy, you are very pixelated still. Am I? I don't know what's going on with, I don't know if it's a StreamYards thing or what. Sometimes my camera looks very pixelated. So I don't know what the problem is on that. The Bidens are having a really bad day, though, because they're getting roasted for their appearance on The View right here. So we covered it yesterday, but yes, the Bidens appeared on The View, and it was an all-time terrible decision on their part.
Biden's blurry view. The former president saying he isn't surprised Kamala Harris lost the election. Watch.
I wasn't surprised because they went the route of the sexist route, the whole route. I mean, this is a woman, she's this, she's that. I mean, it really, I've never seen quite as successful and a consistent campaign undercutting the notion that a woman couldn't lead the country and a woman of mixed race.
Okay, so Biden blaming sexism and racism. Got it. Therefore, he thinks he would have won.
Do you think you would have beat him?
Yeah, he still got 7 million fewer votes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. A lot of people didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Number one. Number two, they're very close in those toss-up states. It was it wasn't a slam dunk.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe,
you thought you would have beat him, but you stepped down because he embarrassed you so badly that you had no choice. Again, Democrats, this is the party that you deserve. You deserve these old clowns that have no clue what's going on. They have put you in the position where you have no power right now, and it's going to continue on in this direction.
she only had 100 days. That's what they say. Wasn't that the problem? Apparently not.
There were still 6 full months. She was in every aspect, every decision I made, every decision we made. And I don't think, I hope I didn't sound the wrong way.
I think you might have, Joe. And that brings up the decline. But then First Lady Jill Biden is there to step in.
I mean, he'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, reading my book, and he was still on the phone, reading his briefings, just working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop.
All right, because there's absolutely nothing to see here.
I'll lay you 8-5 if when that election started, I told you we were going to get any of that done. None of you would have thought it happened.
Yeah.
Not because negative. I mean, it was anyway. As they say in Southern, we've done pretty good.
Right. So that was great.
Oh my God. They talk to him like he's a child. They talk to him like he's a child. I didn't see that yesterday. Holy shit.
That election started, I told you we were going to get any of that done. None of you would have thought it happened.
Yeah.
Not because negative. I mean, it was anyway. As they say in Southern, we've done pretty good.
Right. So That was great.
Holy shit, dude. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my God, that was embarrassing. Let's see. Packet Proton says, can't be the only sad 46-year-old single guy here watching you instead of hooking up with Krista on a disco floor. Kyle says, hail to the snake pit, brother. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Storm Shadow says, there's a word for men without beards, women. Well, that's I'll just continue to stay clean shaven then. Beards have gotten really fucking trendy, and a lot of soy boys are rocking beards these days. Okay, that's just a fact of the matter. Beards have become a fucking trend, massive trend. So you guys need to start gatekeeping and get all these fucking soy boys to stop rocking your trend if you're so protective of it. Anybody denying it ain't gonna fucking pay attention. If you're denying that that's not a trend, you have your head in the sand. It's 100% a soy boy trend, 1,000%. And anybody denying that is coping hard. Eric K says, pro tip, unless Jeremy has Sydney on, watch this stream at 144p. Jeremy looks so much better. Packy Protest says, Biden turned into Boomhauer. Here we go.
What was great? What was that clapping? What was said? I need a translation. And I have the Ruthless Podcast team, Josh Holmes, Comfortably Smug, John Ashbrook, and Michael Duncan.
Who are these guys? I keep seeing these guys. I think Megyn Kelly has these guys. Who are these guys? Am I just the only one that doesn't know who they are? I'm completely oblivious to who these guys are. But I already don't like them.
Serve as translators. Holmes, you look prepared. Can you translate the last bit there from Biden?
Well, I think Johnny has got a pretty good take off the top, and we'll jump off from there.
I don't want to hear these guys, to be honest. I don't want to hear these guys. So, no, I'm not. I heard what Will Kane had to say on it, and I saw his highlights. I don't want to watch those guys. Fuck those guys. I don't know who they are, and I don't like when it's clear that like somebody I've never heard of keeps showing up on mainstream outlets or very well-funded outlets. And I'm like, why does it seem like you want me to start liking these guys? What's those fucking shoes that I see every fucking wear? They're like boat shoes, dock shoes. I see them every fucking wear to the point where I'll never buy a pair. Hey Dude, those Hey Dude shoes. I started seeing those Hey Dude shoes every fucking wear. And every store I would go in, they would always have priority over every other brand. And I'm like, where did these things come from? Where do these Hey Dude shoes come from? Who's funding this to where it's in my face everywhere I go? And it's immediately like, I don't want anything to do with these shoes because whoever's funding this has infinite money, and every store is at the forefront. It's the first type of shoes, and I'm sick of seeing them. So I immediately just reject them on principle. Dark Schwartz Rising for 20 says, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Never heard of them? You've never heard of Hey Dude shoes? They're every fucking wear. Hey Dude shoes. These things right here. Let me see. I want to make sure. Last time I did this, I showed my friggin' location. I don't want to show my location. Right here. So these shoes right here. Every store puts them at the forefront. Every store puts them prime location. And I hate them. I hate these shoes. Nothing against it. Look, I got nowhere to judge. Okay. Obviously, you guys make fun of my fashion choices, but those shoes, like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to support them. Fuck them. They can burn in hell. Marlon Sibo for 20 says, hey dudes, I prefer Yo Bros personally. What's up, Marlon Sibo in the house? Good to see you, brother. Let me see. The chat says, Jeremy, are you talking about Gary and Drinker being on Piers? Who are those guys anyway? Those nobodies. Yeah, they've become regular fixtures on there, haven't they? We might talk about that in a bit, but unfortunately, I got something a little more concerning to talk about. It doesn't necessarily make me happy to talk about it, but something weird is going on. Something weird is going on with a person that we all were fans of in the Trump administration. And I'm not ready to throw this person under the bus, but I am ready to start asking some questions. And the person that we're talking about would be Kash Patel. Some weird shit is going on with Kash Patel. So let me show you this interaction with John Kennedy and Kash Patel. And then we're going to have some other clips we're going to show you.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
What? What was that?
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, to the uninitiated, you may hear that and you're like, all right, well, Jeremy, those just seem like pretty basic, questions that he's answering, and he's being as careful as he can. And, you just got to respect where he's coming from and the position he's in. He's got a lot of optics involved with this, yada, yada, yada. And I say to that, bullshit, first of all, because, this is the same Kash Patel that said things like this right here.
With Epstein, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word, or whoever that guy is, as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. But how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
Now, I remind you that we're going to back this up about right here, I think.
Accept Dick Durbin's word, or whoever that guy is, as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released. Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedos are. Sounds a bit different than this right here, huh?
Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
What happened to put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedos are? Listen, man, I will be happy to be proven wrong, but the Kash Patel that I just saw in that interview with Benny Johnson would be saying the same things I'm saying right now about the current Kash Patel that's answering these questions. 100% would be saying the same thing I'm saying right now, would be calling out the same BS. As a matter of fact, look at this right here. Look at this.
I'm not saying it's not there. Who are you going to get
So
get
who
that?
has, for instance, who is currently holding, this is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's.
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto.
And right now, the director of the FBI is Kash Patel.
From the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this. And you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how.
So, you know, like the thing about Trump is that Trump is still the same guy that he was on the campaign trail. And obviously there are things that Trump probably shouldn't be saying publicly that he continues to still say. He still says things. He still sounds like the same Donald Trump. He still answers questions the same way. He still has the same energy. He still has the same mentality. Kash Patel sounds neutered right now compared to how Kash Patel used to sound.
How they play the game.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, you know, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything, but how are you going?
And I mean, I know some of that's regurgitated. So Steven Crowder actually reacted to this on his live stream. Here's what Crowder had to say.
Quick mission control. Get to me. I guarantee you it won't take you long. I can't do it right now. That Kash Patel at one point made it clear he did not believe that Epstein killed himself. Get that for me here, and we can run that. Hey, what changed? Enlightenment? Hey, if that's the case, you have to believe that the FBI is so beyond any type of corruptibility that they educated Kash Patel. That now, hey, it's very clear Epstein killed himself, or something's off. People are being compromised. It's one thing to say it takes time. It's another for the guy saying, going to turn it into a museum, to say, no, the main talking point that the majority of Americans, Democrats and Republicans, do not believe. Yeah, that's still the talking point. He hung himself. No foul play. Has nothing to do with the length of time. If he said, if his only answer there, sorry, now I'm done with this guy. If his only answer there was, hey, you know what? I have to be very careful with the information, especially in today's.
I agree with everything Crowder's saying right here. The way to answer that question is exactly what Crowder's saying right now.
News climate, to make sure that we aim once and aim right, but we are going to be releasing all of this, and the answer will leave no doubt. I just can't give that to you right now because of some sensitivities. Hey, got it. It takes time. He didn't. He didn't say that. He said, I believe he hung himself in a cell. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Am I the only one who's beyond livid? That's my first time seeing that. Am I the only one? Am I the only one who says that's a different person from the Cash Patel who appeared on Nick DiPaolo's show?
100%.
That's a different person. The guy who appeared before Glenn Beck. That is a different man. Why? Why? And just to be clear, leftist media, those of you watching right now, they will say, oh, see, here you go. Conservatives not willing to accept the truth. That's why they're more damaging. Because they're allowing the left to set the narrative. Do you think you're crazy? Do you think you're crazy because you don't believe that Jeffrey Epstein hung himself in a cell?
The left doesn't believe that.
The left doesn't believe it, but the left will make you out to be crazy. They'll make you out to be an extremist. And you know what they will use as Exhibit A? Even Cash Patel knows how crazy it is.
That's one thing that the country came together on.
Yeah.
That's one thing everyone goes, yeah, there's no way he killed himself. He was killed. Why don't you trust your institutions?
Not Patel. He breaks ranks with you on that. Man who's the head of the FBI thinks you're nuts. If you believe that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, or at least you weren't given the whole story. He just said, no, the whole story's legitimate. Cash Patel, your guy, is he still your guy? He's not my guy. Not my guy. Not after that. Mr. Patel, but you are welcome to come on this show. Just come on this show for what it is. I bet you won't. Let's move on to...
Major respect to Steven Crowder for calling it like it is, because a lot of people aren't calling it like it is. A lot of people are scared to ask simple questions because, again, they want to keep their access. They want to keep their access with MAGA. And this is why I said I never wanted to be part of that. I'm a strong supporter of President Trump and his agenda, but I will call balls and strikes. And if I see something that I don't like, I have no problem voicing that opinion. And I don't like what I'm seeing out of Cash Patel and Pam Bondi at this point in time. I don't like it at all. Not one bit. Cash refunds. Midnight Light says cash refund. Hey, listen. I'm not throwing Cash Patel under the bus completely. I'm simply saying this is very alarming. He's always been a Trump guy. President Trump picked him. Hopefully we're going to get some answers very soon. And it would require people on the MAGA side to actually have the balls to question things every now and then. You know, to say, this doesn't seem right. This isn't what I voted for. I didn't vote for politically correct talking points from the people that are supposed to be cleaning house in these corrupt organizations. I didn't vote for politically correct answers. I voted for answers. I didn't vote for bullshit like that. I didn't vote for tap dancing. I voted for Donald Trump. And I want to see Donald Trump's attitude carried out throughout his administration. Let's see here. Where are we at? Dark Schwartz Rising says, brings up an interesting question. Was Cash full of it, or now that he's on the inside, is he falling victim to some crazy deep state threats like a lot of these people? I mean, I'm not going to completely say that. Like, there are some people that are trying to say that Cash is still playing, like he's answering these questions to keep suspicion, you know. And listen, I don't want to discredit that completely, but I also, like, don't hang your hat on that either. I'm not saying it's 100% not possible, but I would not be hanging my hat on that. Not at all. Rye the Guy says, Washington is run on mutually assured destruction. Everyone has dirt on everyone else. And if you step out of line, then they release the dirt. Sounds like someone got some dirt on Cash. Just a guess. Every time, and thank you for the super chat. Like, I'm always reminded of the accuracy of House of Cards. House of Cards is such an accurate depiction of Washington. You know, some people will probably dismiss that, but like it's 100%. That is how it works, man. It's a slimy fucking place full of slimy people. Outside of the final season, House of Cards is some of the best television I've ever seen. I love House of Cards. Just don't watch the final season if you haven't seen it. Panic at Skyfaller says, if you actually saw how bad the corruption has woven in within the FBI firsthand and how far blackmail goes, I'm not surprised Cash looks depressed and defanged. The FBI was always corrupt and needs to go. Very good point. That's a very good point. Where's Bongino? I haven't heard much from Dan Bongino. You know, it's weird because I've never really been a follower of Dan Bongino. And I kept getting notifications on Rumble for a channel. And let me go to Rumble real quick. Let me pull this up. So I kept getting notifications from this channel right here. Well, Rumble's running like shit right now, man. Rumble, my Rumble chat, are you guys good? I can't even get Rumble to search right now. Yeah, Rumble's just a spinning wheel right now, so I can't do anything on Rumble. But there's a channel that I kept getting notifications for named Vince, and it was nonstop notifications. I finally looked it up, like, who the fuck is Vince? Is Vince McMahon over there? Like, who is Vince? And then I looked, and this Vince guy had like almost 4 million followers on Rumble. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Why have I never heard of him? I guess that turned out to be, this is the guy that took over for Dan Bongino. But yeah, the name of the channel's Vince, and I don't know, man. Like, I don't know who the guy is. Oh, it's his producer. That's who it is. His producer. Yeah, the I don't know. I saw like one picture of him, and like he looked like I don't know. I don't want to be mean to the guy, but he kind of looked like Ross from Friends, and like maybe got sick or something. But yeah, you know, congratulations to him. But yeah, he looked like Ross from Friends, you know, got AIDS or something. That's what he looks like. And I had no idea who he was. So Brad Man, a lot of people like that comment. Brad Man says, soy boys can't grow beards. Give us the chair, not these bad takes. Same Millennial says, I worked for Hey Dude Shoes. Let's see. I worked for Hey Dude Shoes for a few months during COVID when I was furlonged from my main job. I can tell you their story from Europe originally. They must have a big backer or something. Yeah, Rumble's completely down for me. I can see in my chat, so there's still people in my chat, although we have extremely low numbers compared to what we normally have on Rumble. So there's that. Eric Heffelfinger says, listen, you showed your location. We know the country's epicenter of gay. Christian Rocker says, Hey Dude is owned by Crocs. Is it? Theodore Herrera says, Hey Dude shoes, they're light, comfortable. I used to wear Vans back in the day. These are better. As an adult, I'm 42 male. Yeah, my problem isn't the shoes. The shoes actually look like they're probably pretty comfortable. And I don't really hate the design either. It's just that I don't like when something is completely marketed, like all in my face everywhere I go. I'm just going to reject that on principle alone. A lot of people in Florida wear them. Like I said, if you're in Florida, you're probably wearing some type of either Hey Dude or Crocs or something like that, flip-flops, whatever. That's how you roll in Florida, man. Florida's a different world, baby. It's a different world down here. What's up, Laughing Man? Saren says, did you watch Sean Ryan's interview with him? I did. And I don't really watch Sean Ryan. I find the clips I've seen from Sean Ryan, and again, it's no disrespect to Sean Ryan. I know he's got a big following. I know he's very respected. I find the clips that I've seen from him are kind of boring. I remember that clip of him and Brett Cooper, and the way that he was talking to Brett Cooper felt really cringy to me, and it was just weird. So, Packing Proton says, seems like the Rhinos got some pretend MAGAs in bait and switch. Was he Trump's first pick? I think he was Trump's first pick. I think so. But yeah, like Sean Ryan just takes I don't know, it's very slow, methodical way of having discussions, and clearly he's good at it and very successful, and more power to him. But it's not my cup of tea. War Breer says, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. That's what it seems like. The Under Armour Gamer says, Jared, I thought you were too hard on Vivek during the campaign, but after listening to his book, I would never vote for him as president. Yeah, I'm pretty, I'm content with the fact that I was very skeptical of Vivek, and I stand by that skepticism. I'm okay with him being like the governor of Ohio, but not for president. I was not with that one. So, Infinity Flare says, I guess cash isn't king after all. Yeah, man, sad. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Mike Noss says, many people in power will do anything to keep the Epstein files from being released. Obviously, got to Kash Patel. Will likely never see the files released. What a disaster this whole thing is. Hayden Wayne with 5 gifted memberships. What's up, Hayden Wayne in the house? John says they have to be careful and have some grace. Let's give it a little more time. It could be life-changing stuff. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree at all. It's a very, this is a huge issue that, to be fair, it's a huge issue that's not a big focus of Trump's. We have to keep that in mind. This is not something that Trump has ever been adamant about or anything like that. His priority has always been more about, America first, getting us out of war, making sure we're not getting ripped off, getting illegal immigrants out of the country. Everything that Trump ran on, he's dealing with it. So we have to be clear about that. Subway J says, Benny reporting FBI going through thousands of tapes, but I agree they should be announcing arrests of people on the tape. Yeah, it just, I don't know, man. All I can say is that the Kash Patel that we saw in those interviews would be saying the same exact things that I'm saying right now about the Kash Patel that we just saw. Jimmy Hoop says, when will the Mr. McMahon tapes come out? I mean, you can just watch Monday Night Raw back in the Attitude Era. John says, when they say victims, that could also include who were being blackmailed. It might be complicated. We'll see. As long as we ultimately do get the answers, then it won't be like it's still going to be it's still going to be a problem. But if we get the answers, then fair enough. But we better get the fucking answers. And I'm starting to doubt that we're going to get the answers. Leap Kids Alone says, tonight's sponsor, the same as F&T. Shout out Kanye. Here's the thing about Kanye, and thank you. Say what you want about Kanye West. Kanye West is shifting what's the saying? He's shifting the discussion so far. The Overton window. He's moving the Overton window. He's shifted the discussion, the public discussion, so far in the opposite direction of where it's been that the conversation has fundamentally changed. This is what he's doing right now. He's doing it right before our very eyes. And that can't be denied right now with what he's doing. He is shifting things in a way that maybe Trump couldn't even have shifted. Now, without Trump, Kanye couldn't be doing what he's doing, by the way. But without Elon and Trump, I would say. So without Elon and Trump, Kanye couldn't be doing what he's doing. But now that Elon and Trump have opened the floodgates, Kanye is taking it such a radical fucking place that he's making, like, for the longest, the people on the left claimed that someone like me, I was the radical, crazy, right-wing nut job because I said diversity shouldn't be at the forefront of movies. Kanye is like shifted that conversation so far. I look normal now again. So like, it's crazy, man. Shorty Short says, how much for a peek at the Golden Fro? Not happening. I gotta If I show it now, I'll cut it the next day. The whole motivation, if I don't show my hair right now, the day I show my hair, I'm cutting it immediately because I'm sick of this shit. So I'm trying to motivate myself to just keep letting this shit grow. Let's see. Packing Proton says, how to be spotted as a tourist in Florida. Wear shorts in 60 degrees, no sweater at 70 degrees. Yeah, man. Florida is a different world, baby. Google Earhart 3 sun dries. Hey, dudes. I will look into that. Have I opened up floodgates now on all of this? Now everybody's like bringing up Hey Dude stuff. I seriously was just like, I didn't even know there was any depth to it. It's more so just like, I don't like the Hey Dude shoes because they're advertised too much. That's essentially all it was. Can we talk about a true movie star, ladies and gentlemen? Tom Cruise, the last real movie star. Tom Cruise sidesteps talk about Trump's Hollywood tariffs at Mission Impossible press stop. We'd rather answer questions about the movie. Tom Cruise, the greatest living movie star right now. This is the Michael Jordan answer. This is why Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. Somebody says fence sitter. What a retarded take. Tom Cruise is not a fence sitter. Tom Cruise makes you clearly understand where he stands. He's about the movies, which is what every movie star should be about. Tom Cruise shouldn't be pro-MAGA. He shouldn't be anti-MAGA. He should be pro, let's talk about the movie I made. That's it. Tom Cruise is the man. I'm very happy with his answer here. I'll probably make a video on Geeks and Gamers about this tonight, but this is a perfect answer, and this is why Tom Cruise continues to withstand the test of time. So what an awesome, awesome answer from the last great movie star that we have. Chris Clark says sun drop, not sun dries. Gotcha. Noted. Storm Shadow says put Kanye in charge of the Epstein file release. The chat says, Jeremy, get dreads or have an afro like Meek. I don't know, man. My hair is like starting to like really like, it's not as coarse as it used to be. So I do think my hair is probably going to start growing down. I don't know. I have no idea what it's going to do. So we'll just have to, we'll have to let time decide what happens with that. Who knows, right? It could turn out to be a train wreck in a few weeks. We'll see. So, it's thinning. It's definitely not thinning. My hair is very thick, just like my. Never mind. All right. Let's see here. We have. Well, we did get someone arrested today, by the way. So let's see. What is this? The Trump J.D. Vance administration has just arrested a mayor in Newark and shoved members of Congress for protesting outside of an ICE facility. In America, you cannot arrest your political opponents. Do I need to remind you? Of what happened with Donald Trump? What is it? Let's see.
What all of you watch occurred is just how reckless ICE is. It is unacceptable that me as a member of Congress, as a Black woman here, and this city was just assaulted by multiple ICE officers while regional directors of ICE watched it happen. Since we toured the whole facility with them, no one offered an apology or said anything to me about what occurred out here. Not only was I assaulted, but Congressman Bonnie Watson was assaulted, and of course, Congressman Rob Menendez was roughed up as he was trying to protect us. It makes no sense, and it is highly unacceptable how this administration is trying to restrict Congress from doing their bare duties and the responsibilities that the people have elected us to do. What we just
Restrict Congress. Restrict Congress. Not restrict. Restrict. Restrict Congress. Good Lord, man. What are we doing? How is this person in power? How is this person in power? Please explain that to me right now. Yeah, and the fact that they're saying, now, I would just like to remind you, you said that we can't arrest our political opponent, yada, yada, yada. Let's see what the Democrats think about that.
No one is above the law.
Nobody's above the law. No person is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
You're not above the law. You're not an elite. You're not untouchable. And so it's nice to see that the rule of law has returned.
All right. Well, hey, the Democrats said it, not me. The Democrats said no one's above the law. So if we're going to follow the Democrat rules, then we're going to have to follow the Democrat rules. So no one is above the law. Okay. So we're just calling it like it is. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the Democrats. Okay. Because that's how it goes. Let's see here. I had something else bookmarked. Eat them words, lefties. That's right. That is correct. So this is the guy. This is the guy that was arrested. Newark, New Jersey Democrat. Mayor Raz, what is it? Baraka? Like from Mortal Kombat? Has been released after trespassing on ICE facility earlier today. He's going to be on CNN with Caitlin Collins. Is he really going to be on CNN with Caitlin Collins? Really? Hang on. Or was he just memeing? Oh, no, there he is. Holy shit. Okay, we got him. Hang on. All right, I think we got it. Oh, fucking come on. Hurry up. Work. All right, here we go.
That's when this happened. The man you see there being arrested, wearing a brown coat and a hat, that is Mayor Ross Baraka. Witnesses say that the mayor was arrested after he tried to join a tour of the facility with 3 Democratic members of New Jersey's congressional delegation today. There was yelling and pushing after federal officials were blocking his entry. The mayor, who is running for governor, was arrested after he had returned to the public side of the gates. In a statement that came after that arrest, the Department of Homeland Security said that the lawmakers had not asked for a tour of the facility and that as a bus carrying detainees was entering, quote, a group of protesters, including 2 House members, stormed the gate and broke into the detention facility. And Mayor Ross Baraka was just released from custody and is my source tonight. And Mayor, thank you for joining me. Can you just describe what has been happening over the last few hours while you were being held?
Well, I mean, I just want to first say that the guys from Homeland Security were very respectful. They treated me with dignity, and I appreciate that. You know, while I spent my last few hours in holding area inside of I believe it's a detention facility that they have here in the.
Somebody said trans Ben Shapiro. Honestly, she looks more like Ben Shapiro with a wig than Brett Cooper does. That really, that's terrifying, actually.
City of Newark, you know, that Homeland Security has. So, you know, it wasn't unbearable, but it was definitely, you know, a humiliating experience and uncomfortable for me overall. But, you know, in the end, those guys did the best that they could to make me feel comfortable, and I appreciate that.
And you were there protesting the opening of this facility. I know this has been something that you have been arguing against. Can you just take us back to what happened earlier today when you showed up? You were there on the ground with other members of Congress who are joining you. And I mean, we've seen this dramatic scene play out. Tell me what happened from your perspective.
Well, I'm going to say as much as I can without violating, what they asked me to do in court. But, I actually didn't come there to protest. I was there that morning with the fire inspector trying to serve them, as we've been doing for the last few days. We're in court with them now. The fire inspector usually puts a tag on a gate, and we leave. This happens every day. At 1 o'clock, the Congress people, Menendez, MacGyver, and Bonnie Watson Coleman, Congress
I'm bored listening to this.
people from the state of New Jersey, was going into the facility, and they said that they had been granted entry into the facility and was having a press conference. Afterwards, I came to attend the press conference as I was asked to. Obviously, ICE after a while made a determination after somebody came and said that we shouldn't be there, and began to, after they told us to leave, we left, and they began to try to arrest me. I shouldn't say us. They targeted me and came after me specifically and arrested me.
Targeted you, huh? Wonder why they would
Alina
target
Habba.
you. Why would they be targeting a black man named Baraka? Sounds like you're trying to build a narrative there.
Who, just for people who may not be familiar, she's President Trump's former attorney. She is now the interim U.S. attorney in New Jersey, in your state. The way she puts what happened today is she is accusing you of ignoring multiple warnings from Homeland Security investigations to remove yourself.
Let's
and
go,
says that you chose
Habba.
to, quote, disregard.
Hail Alina Habba. Alina Habba making things happen. Great personality, by the way.
Guard the law. Is that true? Had there been warnings? What had happened?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, we could. The reality is, Alina Habba wasn't there. The U.S. attorney wasn't there. She doesn't know what happened. Clearly, that is not the context of what happened. I was there for over an hour.
You just disrespected Alina Habba, sir. I would tread lightly if I were you.
In that space, and nobody ever told me to move. I was in there for over an hour. Not a single person, not an officer from ICE, not any of the security guards. Nobody told me to leave that place. Somebody from Homeland Security came in the end and began to escalate the situation, and we wound up being where we are today. And that's frankly the extent of it. I didn't go there to break any laws. I didn't break any laws. I was there as the mayor of the city, exercising my right and duty as an elected official, supporting our Congress people, preparing for a press conference that was supposed to happen there. I did not enter that place unlawfully. I did not break any laws. And so all of that is incorrect. So she was not there. So she should give some better information.
How did it get so heated? I mean, you can watch this playing out, and we see you, and everyone starts shoving, people start yelling. What did the Homeland Security official that you said came up and
Listen, I'm gonna say something here, okay? I'm gonna say something here, and I want everybody to be very, very sensitive to what I'm going to say. And I'm glad that I'm wearing sunglasses right now, because I might get a little sensitive and a little emotional right now. These images of this video really they look really insurrection-y to me. And I am just so terrified of an insurrection, and you have a government official who could be inciting an insurrection, and he's just thumbing his nose at authority figures in the government right now. And I'm a little nervous right now. I mean, never forget May 9th. Is it right? May 9th. May 9th could be the darkest day in American history because of these insurrectionists that we're seeing right here. I personally will not sleep good tonight knowing that an insurrection happened.
the first one who tried to arrest you?
Well, they tried to arrest me. As you can see, he tried to arrest me. As you can see, I'm calm. I'm not doing anything.
Looks like an
We just walked in.
insurrectionist to me,
We got
sir.
out of the gate.
Looks like an insurrectionist to
I
me,
guess made
sir.
a decision to come around the gate after we left to arrest me outside of the gate. So they did that. They
Maybe
arrested me
don't
outside of the
incite
gate.
an insurrection.
Obviously protesters and the Congress people were upset. They tried.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, he does kind of, does he not look like a Timu version of Magic Johnson a little bit? Timu Magic Johnson, that's who he looks like.
To intervene. And so, you know, I thought it would be better for us to just go ahead with these guys and so we not cause further kind of disruption there.
Were you trying to go into the gate?
Were you insurrectioning?
No, I was already inside.
Well, the video says different. Timu Magic Johnson. The video looks like an insurrection to me.
Didn't have to try to go in.
Okay.
I was there for about over an hour.
I wonder what you've been in detention,
Tragic
you've been being held,
Johnson.
so obviously you haven't seen any of the coverage. The response from
Who said that? Manny Sykes said it. Tragic Johnson. That's going to be this guy's name. Tragic
others,
Johnson.
including some people inside the administration, is pointing to the fact that you're a Democrat and you're running for governor in your state and accusing you of basically conducting a publicity stunt. And I wonder what you would say to them tonight.
Well, I think the publicity stunt is this idea that we should violate the court orders, violate the Constitution of the United States, that we should run roughshod over state and local laws. The reality in America is that if we're having a dispute, then we settle it in the court. The city of Newark has a dispute with GEO about a certificate of occupancy, about them allowing our inspectors in the buildings, health inspectors and fire inspectors, who they've been rejecting every day. Every day we go there, we put the thing on the door and we leave. We're in court right now. They dispute that. They dispute that they should have an updated certificate of occupancy. They haven't had one in 20 years. We say that they need one because the local law demands that they have to get a change of use. They dispute that, and that's their right to dispute it. But the person that settles that is a judge in a court of law, not the President of the United States, not the U.S. Attorney, not ICE or Homeland Security. That is solved by a judge here in this state, and they even moved it to federal court, so the judge has to weigh in on this, and a magistrate. They can't just take matters into their own hands and do what they want. Extra legal action outside of the courts, and that's exactly what's going on here.
What's your understanding of what happens next year? Were there conditions to your release? What was discussed before you left today?
Well, I mean, I obviously was charged with federal trespassing and, which is a Class C misdemeanor. But, going through this is just really humiliating and painful. But the reality is this is what democracy is, right? And so, we are in dispute here, and we just living in a time period now where if you are opposed to the ideas of people, you could be threatened with arrest or intimidation.
Shut
and
the
that's exactly
fuck up.
happening.
You
That's not
fucking broke
America
the
that we wanna
law.
be in. That's
You
not the
put
America
yourself in this
that people chose
position.
to move thousands of miles from around the world to. This is not this place. And they're turning it into an authoritarianist government.
Do you have any regrets about how today happened?
No, I don't have any regrets at all. I went down there to support my Congress people, my Congresswoman from my district, Congresswoman Blondie Watson-Coleman.
District.
As well, who is like a mother to us here, and Congressman Menendez, who's also from our district. I went down there to support them in a press conference, and I would do it again. I have a right to go to those facilities as the mayor of the city. Fire inspector has a right to be on those facilities, and it is not federal property. It's in fact private property. GEO is privately owned. It's a private prison that these people are getting $63 million to do this work, and they have to abide by local laws. That's just a fact. I don't care what our political differences is. They still have to abide by the law.
Mayor Ruff.
But you don't? Jesus. The Democrats are absolutely insane, dude. Holy crap. This guy is a clown. Next level clown. So there you have it right there. Tragic Johnson was arrested after trespassing on ICE facility earlier today. So we'll see what the future holds for Tragic Johnson. Good Lord. But yes, that's a good description, River Miles. Very good description. Panic and Skyfaller for $9.99 says one of two. As I've said before, the files don't exist anymore. The evidence would literally start wars. The only reason that the evidence would still exist is to blackmail all world leaders implicated. Panic and Skyfaller says, why would they have a proof that could take them down just sitting in the FBI? The biggest problem is Bondi blueballed us and lied to us. Very true. And she lied again just yesterday. If it is in fact a lie. The chat says, Jeremy, make hair care videos, works for girls. The chat says, also, why is Kanye so popular? I never got it. Well, I mean, Kanye West was back in the day, and I've never been the biggest fan of Kanye's music, although like his first few albums were fucking phenomenal. But beyond that, I was never a huge Kanye fan. But he had a couple of banger albums and some mega hits. Yeah, I mean, he's had some great songs. And some great albums. Jared the American says, hey, Jeremy, I think you should read into some of the history of the Catholic Church because it's interesting. Also, have you seen the Rod Parsley video yet? I have not. Do-rag Jeremy for $1. W. Porter says, Jeremy got a new hat to hold down his hairpiece. Games for the Win says, quick question. What's your thoughts on 9/11 versus 7/11? Two nuclear powers firing missiles at each other. Been watching Asman on this topic. Hail the 199. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, my stance is going to be that as it stands right now, in my humble opinion, it's none of our fucking business. Now, there might come a time where it becomes our business, but until it becomes something that the United States needs to worry about, it's not our business and we should not worry about it. Now, them being two nuclear powered countries is something that obviously we have to keep an eye on the situation. But as it stands right now, I don't think we should be involved at all because it's not our business. Let them fight. That's my stance. Trump has called for them to de-escalate, but I think I just got an alert saying India and Pakistan trade missile attacks as tensions rise. So, I mean, they didn't just start fighting, by the way. They've been fighting for a long time. Patriotic Gestalt says, yeah, those theatrics will continue for midterms. David Phillips says, the Congressman Robert Menendez is the son of Bob Goldbar Menendez. What's up, David Phillips? Good to see you, brother. Mark of Reality 420 says, no, deportation is not a criminal punishment. Therefore, immigration law is actually civil law. Being sent to Cabo Wabo is different than being sent to prison. There is no criminal due process in immigration law. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the country illegally, there's no due process for you. But I don't think that's a hard concept for anybody with common sense to understand. It's that Democrats are pandering to people that don't want to even think about that and don't care about that. If you're in the country illegally, there's no due process for you. At least there shouldn't be. Eric Heffelfinger says here is literally showing them surround ICE, push past, and force the gate open. Jay's here. What's up, Jay? Drunk 3PO in the house. Chris Clark says, I know everyone has black fatigue, so let me cheer you up. Guess what magic stands for? My ass got infected, coach. The chat says, I don't trust either of the dudes on the CNN clip. Alex McCarthy says, special message from President Trump. Go to Meta PC and enter code 199. Let's freaking go. Tragic Johnson says, so tragic. Oh, God. Oh, shit. That is freaking great. Jeremy, how did previous administrations process millions of deportations without millions of individual court hearings? Am I missing something? Yeah, I love how the Biden administration brought millions of immigrants in this country, and there was no process. They just brought them in without a process. It's amazing. We didn't worry about a process bringing them in, but we got the process when they're going out. Fucking ridiculous, man. I love how the left doesn't worry about that type of stuff. Magnum Norris says, the power of AOC snatch compels you. What's up, Magnum Norris in the house? Is Rumble still working or not? My Rumble's been acting funky. Let's see. Like, damn. All right, let's see. Let's get back to it. We got more stuff to talk about. Where is this video that I had? Hang on. I got to find this video that I wanted us to watch here in just a minute. All right, here we go. And there. Oh, no. Our favorite cross-eyed grimace got confronted today. Leticia James. Here we go.
Well, Leticia James is now the subject of Department of Justice investigation over some of her real estate dealings.
Holy shit, look at those eyes.
She's reportedly being accused of listing a home in Virginia as her primary residence and putting down her dad as her husband on the mortgage applications.
What?
Last month, the federal housing as her home in Virginia as her primary residence and putting down her dad as her husband on the mortgage applications.
Let's go.
Last month, the Federal Housing Finance Agency referred Leticia James for possible DOJ prosecution. Here's part of the statement. Based on media reports, Leticia James falsified bank documents and property records to acquire government-backed assistance and loans and more favorable loan terms. Well, Leticia James calls those allegations baseless. In fact, last night she was heckled about them at a town hall meeting. You got to see it.
How does it feel to know that you will be in prison for mortgage fraud?
Thank you for coming. We respect all opinions. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless.
Everybody knows those allegations are baseless.
They're discredited.
They're discredited.
There's just something about yelling at the American voter that just rings hollow. She'll see. Leticia James has hired high-profile attorney Abby Lowell to defend her, and she says she will keep fighting.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is
you going to jail, bitch.
The time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by.
So, hang on. Let's see. Jeremy, you look like a guy who lost a beat in the Albuquerque truck stop or something. I'm going for the stereotype, okay? I'm going for the MAGA, the angry white male in my camo hat and my sunglasses just bitching about minorities and women. I'm going for the stereotype. I'm leaning right into it.
Our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Lost a bet. Is that what he meant? Okay, my bad. But yeah, I got what you meant.
Well, everybody in the room will, but will she? She's got Abby Lowell. What can you tell me?
So the louder a defendant gets and the less substance there is when they're yelling, the better the chance are that they're in deep trouble. If you notice, none of her denials ever speak to the substance of the allegations, okay?
100%. It's that passionate kind of like preach. She's preaching to people in that moment. Because her drug in this moment is to get her small little echo chamber to cheer for her. That's it. That's all she has. She has nothing left other than that.
The problem for her is that this is a document case, all right? This is not going to be based upon a witness or something like that. It could be at some point, but right now, they have two documents that she signed that are notarized that very clearly say I intend to live in Virginia as my principal residence. She's got more than one house in Virginia, from what I understand. Who's living there? Are the rents being reported? These are all going to be investigated, etc. She's also got the building here in Brooklyn, which she has consistently listed when she goes for the mortgages, and the thing has been remortgaged a number of times as 4 residences. However, the Department of Buildings lists the certificate of occupancy, which is the defining document throughout the entire history of that building, as 5 residences. Why does that matter? Because coincidentally, above 4, 5 and above, you're a commercial establishment and your mortgage is higher. So this is where they're going. They're going to pull all the documents. And the reason this is they've opened a grand jury. Now they have subpoena power, and that's got to be making her nervous.
So real quickly, because we, obviously, Paul is also.
Mark of Reality says there is one interest in America in the is it Paco Indian war? Oh, Pakistan Indian war. If India were to cut off the land route Western China to their port in is it Gwadar, Pakistan, it would be bad for Chinese trade. Okay. Chevy Metal says she has a face that I'd make a train take a dirt road. Madney says, I have hair like yours, Jeremy. It's curly and extremely thick. I hate it. I used to shave it off every month or so, but the ladies love the fro, especially black chicks. Jasmine Crockett would love me. Look, that's the whole thing, man. It's like the only time in my life I've ever known what it feels like to be Dan Vask is when I don't have my hat on and my hair is grown out. So when I was a kid, my mom would take me to like Walmart or Kmart or Toys R Us, and all that would happen was all of these fucking ladies would go crazy over my hair, and it would freak me out. So that's why I started wearing a hat. So I was like, leave me the fuck alone. Stop coming up to me and touching my hair. I don't want you touching my hair. It's not your hair to touch. Leave me alone, you fucking crazy women. So that's the only time in my life I've ever felt like what it is to be like Dan Vask, just having a bunch of old ladies, after me. So, but at my old age, I'm not going to have my hair forever. So I'll repeat what I've said. I'm going to let my hair grow out as long as I can, as long as I can stand it. And then I'll show it to everybody, and then I'll cut it all off. Magnum Norris says roses are red, violets are blue. Leticia James is a whore. That's all I got. F you. What's up? Brian Stewart says, how can I get Jake Paul to fight Leticia James? River Miles says her right eye is EST, Eastern Standard Time, and her left sees Mountain Standard Time. The chat says, oh no, Jeremy's going to get a man bun. I don't know about that. Bill Dozer says, I've literally seen less scam calls since the conflict heated up between India and Pakistan. The 7-Eleven employees be wild. And Panic and Skyfaller says, Leticia James has beautiful blue eyes. One blue this way and one blue that way. Oh, fuck.
So an attorney with all the other hats that he wears. Amazing. So is she inflating the value of her properties? And why put your dad down as your husband? Is that illegal?
So the statute of limitations almost certainly ran on the dad thing because it's like 30 years old. But it just shows you a pattern all along of the kind of stuff that she's been doing. It's very confusing, and it really just seems like they were very slipshod about all of it. But they're going to have to show intent. And I just want to close with the fact that they just snuck in yesterday a $10 million budget line on the New York State budget to defend anybody who's being targeted by Donald Trump. I wonder who that's supposed to help. Kathy Hochul, governor, if you sign this, we're going to remember next year when you run for re-election.
Yeah, think about all those people who were stabbed and hurt on her watch in the subway system, and it took her forever to send in what needed to be sent in.
This has nothing to do with her official duties. There's no reason I should pay for it.
Yeah. Look, but this is the DOJ. I mean, I thought under the Democrats, they said, no, the DOJ isn't under Biden.
It's so mortgage fraud is a serious thing. I mean, I've covered housing forever. And let me tell you, you can get 30 years for mortgage fraud.
They destroy people on it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's $1 million fine. It could go anywhere. And that's what she needs to be thinking about. And that may be why she's answering these questions in the way she is.
Look what she did to Trump. right? What is it? 350 million she wants to take off?
That's where my head was at. She said she's being targeted. She calls it the latest act of political retribution.
Oh, fuck her. Not Kaylee, but Leticia. John freaking Murdoch for 50. Says, I don't know, Jeremy. I've seen your pics with hair and ones without. I think it's a psyop. You've never seen it as long as it is right now. One time, it was funny because when we had the content house in Orlando, because we had the big content house, and we had different people come in for doing stuff at the theme parks and doing vlogs and stuff. And Melanie Mack was in town, and she was over at the house, and I didn't have my hat on, and she goes, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Oh fuck." And she goes, why do you wear a hat? And I'm like, because fuck this piece of shit on my head. And she's like, you should stop wearing a hat. People will go crazy over there. Like, no, fuck that. No, I don't want anything to do with that shit. So it's never, but it was probably, this is a little bit longer now than it was then. Magnum Norris says 7-Eleven versus 9/11. Let's freaking go.
Give me a break, Leticia James. You are the person who ran on calling Donald Trump a con man. You called him a carnival barker. You said you wanted to shine a bright light into every dark corner of his real estate dealings. You ran on targeting a man, which is the antithesis of the justice system, and then tried to prosecute him civilly for something that was a victimless crime that had no precedent for doing that. So give me a break talking about targeted. You ran on targeting.
That's right.
Wow. Do you think
she literally that's all she did is targeted President Trump? That was her whole campaign, was targeting President Trump. It's on camera. This bitch is corrupt as hell, and she needs to go down. She needs to go down in a blaze of glory so we can show the corruption. We need to make an example of this clown, that when you abuse your power, you will be held accountable. David Harvey says, I'm out of loop. The content house is no more. I financial reasons. Again, it's not that it just wasn't a smart financial decision for me to continue it on. However, my plan is to do it in a different capacity in the future, but it costs a lot of money. But I spent a lot of money on that content house, and we had a great time. So I don't have any regrets or anything like that, but let's see here.
Think they ever check their own books before they do stuff like that?
No, they feel so entitled, and that's what a jury won't appreciate, because as hardworking New Yorkers have to bust their behinds in order to secure a mortgage in the first place.
Yeah.
Rates aren't very good right now. They don't look kindly on people who skirt the system and game it in order to get a more favorable mortgage rate, which is exactly what she was doing. I mean, that's why you don't get a sweetheart rate on a second home.
She's innocent until proven guilty. We want to make sure that that's clear. But it's a serious case.
She is a corrupt piece of garbage. That's what she is. And nobody likes her. Nobody thinks that she's innocent at all. So screw her. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Let's see, Kennedy. Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike Kaylee McEnany. She did go full DeSantis shill though, for sure. And so I don't know, man. I'm not the DeSantis stuff hurt her in my eyes, but she's still hot. So Lapco says, don't apologize for being a total hottie, Jeremy. The ladies will go wild for you. Accept it. Your perfect manners and charming personality are a bonus. Well, I'm not on the market, so but I do appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, well, the problem is usually a bunch of freaking old ladies. Like, if we're talking like hot chicks were coming up to me, that's a different story. When there's a bunch of old ladies, yeah, come on. Doc Hollywood for a proper 199. Let's freaking go. You know what time it is. Everybody knows what time it is. It's Sydney Sweeney time. Proper 199 in the house. First of the night. Let's freaking go. Boom. And boom.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
Come on, baby. Come on. I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come. Beautiful white paint. It's coming down at 10,000 miles an hour. It's coming down at levels of speed that nobody ever even conceived of. Where it's rough, but it's coming, and now it's turned around. It turns around, and it's coming, and it's gonna. I said, oh, because you see at that bottom, this section right here, that sucker's. Oh.
10,000 miles an hour. Thank you, Doc Hollywood. Doc Hollywood in the house with a proper 199. Magna North says the lack of accountability is starting to piss me off. I agree completely. Storm Shadow says you can like Trump and DeSantis, change my mind. You can, as long as you understand that Trump is the top dog. And because I like Trump and DeSantis. I like DeSantis as a governor. My problem is that anybody that thought that DeSantis was a better pick than Trump for president was retarded. And that's just the truth of the matter. You are retarded if you thought DeSantis was a better choice for president than Donald Trump. DeSantis couldn't handle what Trump has had to go through. DeSantis wouldn't be able to do the things that Trump has done. DeSantis was never the right choice because they took 2020 away from Donald Trump. And if we didn't right that wrong, then it never mattered who else it was going to be. If you do not correct the problems from 2020, then they won, no matter what happens. And that was always my problem. But I like Ron DeSantis. I'm from Florida, and he's been a great governor. He's been a really good governor. Tired Retro Gamer says, come on, Jeremy. The ladies want to see your Harpo Marx fro bra. It'll happen. It'll happen. But not right now. Not right now. So I got it. Like I said, man, the moment I show it, I'm cutting it like that day. I'm pulling the clippers and it's gone. So I have to keep it under wraps until wherever it is I get ready to show it. And then I'll probably grift it at that point. But seriously, if I took my hat off right now, I'm taking the clippers to it immediately. Especially like right now with it with the heat and everything. I don't want all this fucking hair on my head. It's gay. Do a live stream of you shaving it off. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier says, I always thought Jeremy was bald. Everybody on the internet has thought I was bald. But I've uploaded videos in the past with my hair. I've even done a video without it. And I've done pictures in the past too, but it's never been quite as long as this. But it needs another month. Let it cook. Let it cook for another month, and then we'll work on the reveal at some point. But it's got to cook for about another month. We've got to get a little more out of it. So, I don't know if you guys heard, but Kirsha, the Fox lady Kirsha, she's been getting, they've been trying to cancel the Fox lady Kirsha because she had an opinion apparently that people don't like. And let me see if I can find it. Is that it? Let's see. I got to put an S right there. Okay. So Kirsha, all because of her opinion on the Shiloh Hendricks. And Asmongold covered it. And Asmongold, Kirsha tweets it out right here. Asmongold talked about it.
I think that advertisers need to realize, and this is what I think that we need to do collectively as a community, like not just me, but like in general, is that we need to come together and just absolutely, totally, like if somebody gets taken off of a sponsor because of like something bad that they said, and it's not really bad, it's just like taken out of context, I think that we should absolutely shit on them.
100% agree with everything Asmongold says right here. I'm tired of the sponsorship bullshit. Like, this is why we've been so reluctant. And this is why I'm telling you right now, no bullshit. Like, yeah, we've because of Rumble, we now have been doing some ad reads and stuff like that. But the only reason we've been doing those is because we know if they're working with Rumble that there's almost no chance they're going to cancel us. But in the past, I've never wanted to work with sponsors because of exactly what he's saying right there. I can't stand to be under the thumb of a fucking company. I can't stand to go like, oh, I can't have my opinions, or I can't say this, or I can't make a joke. So thank God for all of you for allowing me and Geeks and Gamers to do what we do, because without your donations, and it's not to say that if you don't donate, you're not important, because you absolutely are. I never mean to I don't ever want the message to get misconstrued or anything like that. The people that have never donated don't ever have to donate. You can watch me for free for the rest of time, and you'll never hear a peep out of me. But the people that do donate and support us in the way that they do, because the super chats, whether it's here or Geeks and Gamers or Geeks and Gamers Play or Park Hoppin', you guys have given me so much opportunity to do so many other things, and I don't have to worry about the sponsor stuff. But yeah, sponsors like these, I want to say some words, but these sponsors are stupid, and I can't stand the politically correct nature of what they do. So I agree with what Asmon's saying right here. Let's back it up.
Totally. Like, if somebody gets taken off of a sponsor because of like something bad that they said, and it's not really bad, it's just like taken out of context, I think that we should absolutely shit on them. Like 100% we should, because there needs to be a awareness that this type of behavior isn't acceptable in the public anymore. And I think that it's not. And yeah, we need to cancel culture. Yes. And the way that you do that, by the way, like Amber Heard. So I think a really great example of this is like Bud Light. And it's also a lot of gaming companies. Gaming companies now are terrified to do anything because they're worried that people like me might make a video about it, and they might totally shit on the game and destroy the game's popularity. I want to say that good. Absolutely. We want you afraid. We want you to not feel like you can do this kind of stuff. And I will continue to use this power as a weapon against the people who have weaponized it against me. And so this is what I will continue to do. I think these people are absolute fucking parasites. They are awful people. And also, beyond everything, they are dishonest. They are lying and they are dishonest. And they're trying to force people into behavior. Concord put the fear of God in them. Yes, exactly. And so whenever any of these things happen and somebody loses a sponsor, or they like support somebody like this, I think you should absolutely shit on them as much as you possibly can to make advertisers terrified of making these decisions again. And I think that if you do that, you can stop it from happening. Because keep in mind that the advertisers do not actually care about any of these social issues. They do not care about trans people. They do not care about non-binary people. They do not care about anybody except for money. That's it. And so that's really
absolutely well said from Asmongold. And this whole Kirsha thing has been wild because Kirsha, the Fox lady, had an opinion on the Shiloh Hendricks thing. She had an opinion that everyone with common sense has, which is, who cares about a word? Who cares? I don't care about words. The only reason I care about words is because of the stupid, ridiculous rules on different social media platforms that they've created. Certain no words, I don't care. I think people should be able to say whatever the fuck they want. And I think that if you choose as an individual to be offended over that, that is your right. And it's our right to call you gay. And it's that simple. I think you can be offended over whatever you want to be offended over, and we can call you gay for it. Vault 95 says Jeremy's hair is the best of us next to Jay. Taker says, Jeremy, have you talked about Rand Paul saying tariffs are a tax and therefore fall under the authority of Congress and not the president? I saw Rand Paul kind of stepped in it the other day. I didn't hear specifically what he said about tariffs, but Rand Paul, I mean, to be fair, Rand Paul's been kind of against this for a long time. I'm not the biggest fan of Rand Paul, but he has been against this for the longest time. So at least he's been consistent. Crazy Clown Town Says content houses get expensive, only last a year or two. If you want another content house, chat, go buy Raycons. Well, the idea is to not do another content house. The idea, which is it's a little tougher to pull off without without having the finances, but the theory behind what we want to do is we want to rent out a giant space in Orlando that is a working studio. And we basically want to be live, 12 to 15 hours a day. And we want to have, like a gaming setup in there. We want to have a regular studio setup. We want to have a general area where we're just watching and reacting to different things. It's almost like a Barstool Sports type of atmosphere where it's a laid back environment where the personalities will be kind of coming and going all throughout the day. You might see a couple of people hanging out on the stream, and then next thing you know, Jay and Krista walk in because they just got back from the theme park, and then Jay and Krista are there. You might see us bring Gary or somebody in town to come visit for the week, and so they're on screen. But this is a hard thing to pull together from a financial standpoint, because I'm gonna have to pay insurance. I'm gonna have to pay a lot of rent, probably, because I'm not going to buy the building up front, because I need to get proof of concept before I'm investing a ton of money to buying something. So I'm going to have to rent for a year to get proof of concept, things like that. But I think it would be great because we can. If I would have done this instead of the content house last time, we'd be rocking and rolling on all cylinders, no doubt about it. But you learn from mistakes. So I needed to go through some, missteps or mistakes in order to understand what the next evolution of that process would be. So, but I think it would be cool as shit. I really do. Shadow Saint says, bring Kirsha back to Tuesday night's main event. Very popular choice. Look at this. Jeremy won't read my chat if I don't pay him, though. I just did, buddy. Hail to you, brother. Is it Almonte? There you go. Read your chat and you didn't have to pay anything. So Lying Dogface Pony Soldier, would they get the membership? Thank you. Yu-Gi-Oh! Casual says, at work today, I work at a grocery store. Hey, I respect you now. My boss asked one of our guys to sweep. The guy asked if it was because he's Mexican. Boss said yes, then said, don't tell HR. Didn't know he was that based. Hell yes. Let's go. What's up, Same Millennial? That's awesome. Respect to the grocery store working man. Respect. Let's see here. Lapco. Have you considered an Afro eyebrow hair transplant? We'll pay for it if you just ask. No, I have eyebrows. You just can't see them. I have light features. Ian says, Jeremy lets his husband touch his hair. Giggity says, I respect the grift, damn it. Mikey says, imagine one day somehow you're able to land having Trump on your show, and then comes the moment someone sends a proper 199 and having to explain that to Trump. That would be peak content. That would be pretty funny. Chris says, restrict Congress, yo. Hear my words, honey child. Honey child, honey child. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier says, hail to 199. The Snake Pit is the best chat on the internet. Thank you. The chat says, Jeremy, be very careful about getting big. I don't know what that means. Like, in terms of like, I mean, it's all relative. Like, my channel is really small compared to other real big creators. And then my channel is really big compared to smaller creators. So it's all relative. Everything in life is relative. So the bottom line is I think that we as a Geeks and Gamers 199 community, I think we do a good job of maintaining our connection to the people that support us. I'm not saying we're perfect and that we could definitely do a better job, but I think that we're pretty good about communication for the most part in terms of like our live streams and not losing touch of the fact that you've got thousands of people here. The chat determines the majority of the way of our live shows. The chat has more control over our shows than probably any channel our size or streams our size. I've never seen a channel that consistently gets thousands of viewers and the chat controls the narrative of every one of those streams. But that doesn't mean we can't improve, because we can. Dalbro with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. 5 gifted memberships. Panic and Skyfaller says, does Jimmy realize he's describing his ideal content house exactly like a Chinese cam girl hotel? Heartbreak Zero says, stop hiding your receding hairline. Gay Remy, hail. It's not receding yet, but it probably will one day. Grand Potato says, live Ryan fast food Uber delivery rants would be epic. Ryan will be there too. That's the thing, man. We've got enough people in Orlando that I would have to, like, we would just have so much content and we would be able to provide so much. Last night, it was interesting because when I was live last night and I wasn't even planning on going live, when I ended my stream, I saw people in the chat and they were like, what are we going to do now? Like, come on, man, stay live for a little bit longer. And I'm just thinking like, man, we really could, like, we could just stay live all day long doing crazy shit in our studio with different personalities, different things going on. It'd be cool as shit, man. It really would be awesome. So I hope we can get to that point. I really do. Mark Reality says, I like meeting y'all and the rest of the chat at meetups. So what's up with this Dallas thing I keep hearing about? I don't have any plans for Dallas. Like I said, right now I have way too much going on, with my family and things like that. So I'm not traveling right now. So I don't have any update from my perspective. I think Ripa might be doing some stuff in Dallas, but I can't speak to that. If mods have any information on that, feel free to drop any links. But that's all I know. So Doc Hollywood says there's no bigger grifter than Jeremy Prime. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Thank you, Doc Hollywood. Grand Potato says, yes, Jeremy, everything in life is relative if you're from Alabama. I mean, you're not wrong. Bronson Knight says, Jeremy, a homosexual, desperately avoids the affection of women, but also secretly has the same hair as Christopher Lloyd. In a full clip, the old dude mispronounces Tish's name on purpose. He should. Fuck that bitch. People are tired of her. Ripple will have a booth at the Dallas Fan Expo. Okay, there you go. So I knew there was something going on, but like I said, I haven't been keeping up with all of that. So yeah, there you go with that. Okay. Yeah, this is perfect. Right here. You can't arrest a judge. You can't arrest a mayor. Y'all arrested the president of the United States that was running for re-election 4 times. Respectfully, go fuck yourself. Hell yeah. Let me see. Lapco says, don't get your pride hurt, but I've started a Gibson Go for you. What? We'll get that jerk that stole your eyebrows, so don't worry. Good Lord. Fantastic Sanox says, good day. So I read an article by the AP about Trump suggesting to tax the wealthy. It does mention later his advisor that Trump is not an advocate of taxing the wealthy. It's funny how the AP frames it. They always frame it in the way they want to frame it. And yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I did hear the rumor like that there was like something about like Trump not taxing people that make under 200,000 a year or something like that. And I'm not going to pretend to be smart enough to understand if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but on the surface, it sounds like a terrible idea. It sounds like a horrible idea. But I mean, we'll see. But again, that idea hasn't really that idea kind of moved away, so I'm not sure that was a serious one. Storm Shadow says, just have Beardo wear an iPad streaming your face, and you can still meet and greet from home. Feel free to call people names, and they can hit Beardo. That's not a bad idea, actually. It's not a bad idea at all. Don't tax people, period. I agree. And I wonder if that's the goal for Trump. If Trump can pull off abolishing all, income tax before 2026, Democrats will never win an election again. 200,000 used to be worth a lot more. You ain't lying there, man. I remember when I worked in retail, and I've never mentioned this before that I worked in retail, but yes, I did work in retail. And I remember like management positions, like the highest management positions in these big box grocery stores. And some of them were paying like, $85,000, $90,000 a year. This is back in like, late 90s. And that was like, you were well off at that point. You weren't rich, but you were very comfortable at making $90,000, $95,000 a year back in the late 90s, man. And now it's like you say that to somebody and you're like, you can't even survive off that, apparently. Like, it's crazy. Yes, I did work retail. I did. So, he said retail drink. What's minimum wage now? Somebody says I started at $3.35 an hour minimum wage. What is minimum wage now? I've asked this recently and I can't remember. What is it, like $7 or $8 maybe? I don't know. I have no concept of what it is now. So what is minimum wage now? $7.25, 7 here. Okay, $7 to $7.25. Okay. June's Melody says, wow, Jeremy, you worked retail. I never knew you worked retail. I never knew that. Mark of Reality says, get the income tax floor as high as we can get it. Man, I got to imagine, like, I do believe that his plan is to do something with the IRS and income tax. And I believe that the tariffs are part of that plan. I don't think we're going to know if that's going to be fully realized until probably sometime next year. But I absolutely think that Trump has that plan in some capacity. I don't know if he's convinced he can pull it off yet, but I think that that's what he's aiming for. But he's not going to say it outright. He's not going to come out there and just point blank say this is what he's doing. But Laughing Man says pallet jack versus Jeremy's toe. We remember those days. My toe is still crushed from the pallet jack incident, and it will never recover. My poor toe. So I used to, before I crushed my toe, I used to wear flip-flops. And I think that's why I started wearing Crocs, because I'm like, my toe is mangled. So I don't want to freak out the ladies with my mangled toe. So I'll just cover it up with the Crocs. Because like I said, in Florida, it's really flip-flops, sandals, Crocs. That's essentially what you wear in Florida. Shorts, long sleeve shirt. That's Florida attire right there. That's how it is. Electric pallet jack. This was a manual pallet jack. Jeremy, your toe looks better than Bree's feet. Arclight says. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's debatable. It's debatable. Let me see. Mark of Reality says, audit the Fed. Let's fucking go. Doge. It is. My big toe versus Bree's feet is it's debatable. Bree's feet are pretty rough. Maybe Brie Larson worked retail. Maybe Brie Larson worked retail and that's how she, you know what? Brie feet, we're gonna do it. We're gonna look up Brie feet. We're doing it. We're doing it, chat. We're going there. Bree's feet. Let's see. What happened to Bree's feet? They're so fucking weird looking. Chat said I just ate dinner. Let's see. Larson. All right, let's. Is that no? Where's that one though? There's that one picture. They're all jacked up, man. Is that it? Here we go. All right, what happened to Brie Larson's feet, bro? What happened? Look at these feet, man. That's horrible. Why would you show those on a red carpet? I don't understand. Chad is so mad at me right now. Listen, I have not grifted Bree's feet in a long time, okay? I have not grifted Bree's feet in a long time. Can you at least give me a little credit that I haven't done this in a long time? Do I get any credit for that whatsoever? You would think the chat would be a little bit nicer to me. You would think I get a little respect. That's not even the worst picture, though. There's another picture of Brie Larson's feet. Chat's mad as fuck at me, boy. Oh, no. Why? Why are they like that? Yeah. All right, look. Why is it like this? What happened? Why is that one like so much? That is abnormal. Mods are quitting right now, but views are going up. Mods are quitting, but views are going up. Okay. So we've got that. We've got to take that into account. 2-week notice going in. Brie Larson has pallet jack feet. All right. All right. Hang on. There's one more too, I think. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it though. Brie Larson has pallet jack feet. Let's see here. All right. How about this one? Now, if you guys want me to click off this, you just tell me and I'll click off of it really quickly. How about that one? You guys want me to click off that one? Click off? Okay. You want me to go back? You want me to go back? Okay, let me go back to Bree's feet. Somebody said go back to Bree's feet, so I'll go back to Bree's feet. Let me see if I can find that tab. Bree's feet right here. Okay. All right. So back to Bree's feet, right? Eric K says we quit. Mods are owed an apology. 38 more seconds. Zoom in. You want me to zoom in? There you go. All right. Is that the zoom in right there? All right. We're going to stop. I'm going to stop this shit. Eric K says fast food except Gavin's friend at Panera Bread. It is $25, asshole. Gave his friend an exception even though it's just fast food. Eric K is mad. Eric K is mad. Eddie M says, all right, I'm out. Nasty Ostrich. Eric McCog says, at my small local grocery store I worked at, we used a Blast X-rated David Allen Co. We used to blast X-rated David Allen Co. If you know, you know. I certainly do know about David Allen Co. back in the day. Yes, absolutely. And there's Eric K. threatening to quit. They're so mad at me. But I think it was fun, Eric. You can't be too mad at me. Is Rumble back up now? The Fried Piper says, holy shit, I do not need that visual. What was the visual? Their feet. And this is feet and shoes 4 sizes too small. It's like, oh, god damn it. Binary recoil. What the fuck? Woo! That is rough right there. That is rough. That's what I get for reading the Rumble chat. The chat says the chat quits too. Happy, Jeremy? Yeah, I mean, not really. I want the chat to stay here. Philip says, I managed a woman's shoe store. Most women have a gnarled feet. Bree should wear pumps. Yeah, I don't think I'd like. I'm not into the feet thing like some dudes are. Some dudes are all into women's feet. Like, I think women have much more attractive body parts than feet. Feet are not really, I mean, I'm not like, I don't hate feet, but it's not, I don't get the feet fascination. I just don't. It's not for me, but I'm glad it works for other people, I guess. It's still kind of strange in my opinion. But the internet basically gives everybody the ability to show how fucked up and weird they are. And I respect that because we all are fucked up and weird in our own way. That's just the truth of the matter. By the way, this weekend, I will be live streaming video games on my D-Day Cobra gaming channel. If you have not, you should be subscribed to that channel. I'm sure I'll have the same crew that was with me this past weekend over there. Let me see if I can. So right here, this channel right here, D-Day Cobra Gaming, I will be live on this channel. So if you guys are interested in watching us hang out and play some video games, that's where I will be this weekend. So, and yeah. So, and of course, locals, we're going to still have stuff going on locals as well. So I hope you guys will join us over there. Yes, it is. It is Mother's Day this Sunday. So I'll obviously be spending time with family. Looking forward to that. Laughing Man says that's a dead channel. It was. I went. Holy shit. So wait, how far apart were the streams? 4 months. I went 4 months without a fucking stream. 4 months. The last one we did, we won the last match. I think they are probably here. 66. 66.
I smacked one. They dipped. They dipped out.
We almost got killed right here.
They gotta come to us. We have circle behind us, so we're good.
Yep.
Oh shit! I just got messed up.
How the fuck did that not hit?
Damn it!
129.
Hey, I'm dead. I'm dead, Jeremy. I'm dead. I don't know how they're fucking melting us like that, dude.
And we got no more heals left, right?
I have one mini.
All right, take it.
That's crazy, dude.
66. 66. 66. 60. Knock that bitch. Shoot the tree. Woo! I'm one shot.
We got him.
No, we don't.
Yeah! Let's go, boys. Let's fucking go. Come on.
So there you go. That's what we'll be live this weekend, hanging out, playing some games. So I hope you guys will join us. Harley Dave for 20 says, Jeremy, just because you are a Florida man doesn't mean all of our feet are fucked up. Hail MAGA Mage. Hail the 199. Sorry for my absence, working on a side biz. Good luck, brother. Good to see you here, Harley Dave. And no apologies necessary, Harley. You know that. You don't owe me no apology, brother. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you here. Mitchell Field says, I hate Breets, but I am one of for tradition. Make Breets great again and bring back the bidding wars to show or not show them. We might do that, but I don't like taking full advantage of the audience like that. You know what I mean? Eric K says 2 times the Jeremy, 2 times the gay. Well, we are almost at the end, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thank you for an awesome stream. I really appreciate it. I'm going to have videos out for the Main Geeks and Gamers channel tonight. So make sure you guys check that out if you're interested. And of course, D-Day Cobra Gaming, I'll be live there this weekend. So I hope you guys will join us. Coop says, miss my super. Not true, Coop. I know you're troll. I already know you're troll. But I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all of the awesome mothers out there. And I hope that you all have a good weekend as well. I'll see you guys over on the gaming channel. Hail to the 199. Hail to all of you, the Snake Pit, the greatest chat on the internet. And it's not even close. You guys have a good night. And we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.